So tell us again there when you said you found out about this magazine and you're like, what? You never looking at magazines in your life, and then you see this crazy ad. Like, what is it saying, and what got you to want to act on it?
hmm Yeah, so I just saw this ad in this magazine and I thought, wow, that sounds really cool. So I went on and I called them up and they told me a little bit more about the course. And then I was like, huh, I felt like there was something more. And I was really interested about this OJAYA deep meditation. So I took the course. The first course is free and I loved it. And then I said, okay, listen, I want to take this meditation course, find out what it's all about, because it's in a rainforest. And I
Right,
was like, how is this rainforest in Iowa? And so it's just really, really amazing. And so I took the course and I loved it. The meditation technique drew me in so, so deep, and it has changed my life. And just the way I got here was from a magazine.
mm-hmm.
We're like never reading magazines. I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm not looking at a magazine. So I think it was really, really amazing how I picked up that magazine 800 miles away from home, and this is my calling. This is my passion. I love helping people out. I love working with my hands, and I can do that here in the rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a really great question, David, and I found my home.
I love it,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, it's such a beautiful home to have.
Mm-hmm.
So, also in that regard, then, what are your long-term goals? And also, if you know, within the foundation here, what are the long-term goals? How many people do you guys want to help? Also, like, where have you guys gotten in just like the amount of time that you've been around, and where do you see it going long term?
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the goals long term are to help out as many people as possible. Anybody who is willing to just sign up for the prep course, that's the OJAYA Deep Meditation prep course. That is just 9 free videos where you can learn more about the OJAYA armor technique and why it's different from all the other practices you'll find out there. And so once you start that changes your whole perspective on what meditation is truly. And so I just, as soon as I listened to that, I was like, I was doing mindfulness, I think, at the time. I was like, mindfulness is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to dive deeper into this meditation, into myself. And that is what this has done, David. It's been a tremendous journey. So we want to help as many people as possible. And we're a not-for-profit school run by volunteers like myself. We're working full-time to
Mm-hmm.
help out everybody who comes to our school. And anybody who calls us up, you can talk to me. You can talk to one of our other volunteers if you have questions. And it's just been a wonderful journey here. And we're here to serve the public, to serve everybody.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sounds like you guys have accomplished a lot in a very short amount of time,
Yes.
just
Oh,
through
yes.
that kind of like laser focus and that
Mm-hmm.
dedication,
Exactly.
which is amazing. So I also wanted to ask then in that regard too, are there any incredible like success stories or just anything that has stood out from you from your whole time like working within Ojaya, even for yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
also maybe for other people that you worked with, like
Yes.
some of the most outstanding stories that,
Mm-hmm.
that like just capture, you know, up to your what comes up for you right now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, just to give you like a great example, this was like 6 months ago, and
Mm-hmm.
this was shocking to all of us. So there was a guy named James, and he was actually a quadriplegic. He couldn't use his arms or his legs, and it had happened from an accident. And he started the course. He learned the Ojjayi armor technique,
Mm-hmm.
and then 6 months into his practice, he started getting use of his right hand, and then use of his left hand, and then he was able to walk. And this was just incredible. Like this guy is just like quadriplegic, had an accident, and now he has full use of his limbs. Come on, that's incredible. And
Wow.
it was like just a total miracle. So that was really, really amazing to all of us. But it goes to show you the power of this technique, of this meditation, and what meditation can do for you. It's really, really amazing. Yeah.
I'm so curious to know, like, what kind of markers in the physiology do you think might have happened, or what can we measure and what can we observe about this technique that's able to cause these kind of miraculous healings to happen?
Hmm.
Do you know?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So the nervous system is where stresses get locked up. So they get locked away, and then when you go to sleep, all these stresses get unwound. You ever seen a
Hmm.
dog sleeping
Right.
and all of a sudden it looks like it's running and it's like
Oh yeah.
kicking and run?
Hmm.
You're like, what's going on? It's actually releasing stresses.
Mm.
So as it's sleeping, it's releasing stresses. We do the same thing. We have stresses locked in our nervous system, and in our sleep, we release them. And so if there's too many stresses, they get stored in your nervous system as
Hmm.
scars. So this James, one of our students, had a lot of scars locked into his system, and all of these stresses were negatively taking his energy away.
Mm.
So what the Ojai Armor technique does is it gets you back in tune with nature and nature's vibrations, and it is actually very healing, very rejuvenative.
Mm.
So all these stresses locked into the system, like any scars that you might have from trauma, from your childhood, or from a breakup that was really traumatizing, this technique, it works on unwinding it from negative energy
Hmm.
into positive energy, and it gives you all that energy back. So with James, he had all these stresses in his system, in his arms, in his legs, and the nerves were fried or
Wow.
they were damaged.
Mm.
So this technique brought in this healing energy, and it took that negative energy and it made it into positive healing energy.
Mm.
It repaired his cells, his nerves, and it got rid of the stresses. And it's really, really incredible that a meditation technique can do that, because mindfulness will not do that, because it's at the surface level. Your mind is full of thoughts, but when you get deep into your meditation,
Hmm.
that's where the healing comes in. So
Oh,
so
I
that is
see.
why he was able to go in deep and heal himself.
Mm.
And now he's not a quadriplegic anymore.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That is, I mean, to know, it's almost as if most of all diseases are caused by this kind of stress. So
Hmm.
when we learn how to remove those stressors, like you see all kinds of miraculous things happen.
Yes.
And I know for myself too, I've even noticed that. But I wanted to ask, like, maybe just a quick 1 minute. How were you before you found this technique, and
Mhm.
how are you now? Like, how has it changed you personally?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the biggest thing that has changed for me personally is my mind.
Mm.
And I was at school, and I was there, and I was like, wow, I really have a lot of thoughts in the day. And my mind was just constantly going all day long. And I was like, man, this is tiring. I got to get rid of this. I got to find a natural way to get rid of these thoughts in my head. And so I found meditation, and it's allowed me to settle down so much in my mind that 2 years ago, before I started meditation, I had ADHD. I was
Mm.
diagnosed by the doctor. And then I said, okay, I want to take charge of my life and find a natural way to solve this. And I started meditating. 2 years right now, I'm standing here with very clear, very calm energy. And I used to have this chaotic energy.
Mm. Right,
You
right,
know, it's
right.
just like you're just like constantly going.
Yeah.
But now, very calm, but energetic at the same time.
Hmm.
And my ADHD is completely gone. That's the number one thing that I've noticed over 2 years of meditating that has changed. And I'm
Wow.
so grateful for it. So
Oh,
grateful.
I
You know?
love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Notice very similar effects in my physiology too.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's no better feeling than that,
Right.
when you find that inner peace and you're able to go through life without like all the chaotic thoughts in the mind,
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to be fully present with what you're doing.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I love. So
Exactly.
last question here too is for anyone that wants to join and like kind of get involved with the work here
Mm-hmm.
that you guys do, could you explain about like how the courses are set up, and then how often you guys do live calls, and what the overall structure of the OJAYA Foundation is like?
Yeah, yeah, well, absolutely. So we welcome